Welcome back everyone, hope all is well. I managed to get an early look at the new legendary Twisted Will shotgun in the Division 2 China, so let's take a look. This is the bad boy in question and it looks absolutely fantastic. The art team have done a really great job on this design, especially with having it look like an Outcast's wasteland warrior sort of look. It just looks just tremendous. The weapon attributes are as follows. We have shotgun damage, damage to health, critical hit damage, damage to targets out of cover, and damage to elites. The RPM of the shotgun is 450 RPM on the right shoulder, but it drops to 390 RPM when you switch to the left shoulder, and there's a reason for that, but we'll get into that in just a moment. It's also worth noting that the shotgun only fires 4 pellets instead of the standard 8 pellets that you generally find in shotguns. The weapon talent is called Dirty Bomb. Now, to save me reading all of this, the TLDR is that every 4 crits, 1 acid mist pellet is injected into the next bullet, up to a maximum of 2. For each acid mist pellet, the weapon handling increases by 5%, the effective range is increased by 25%, and the weapon damage is increased by 50%, with an additional 1.5% chance of inflicting the acid mist status effect on your target. Now, when applying the acid mist effect, it will spread between targets over 5 to 8 meters. The acid mist status lasts for 8 seconds. It inflicts blindness, it slows the enemy, and the target will continuously lose health over this period. Now, what the description doesn't tell you is that the acid mist effect is only achieved by shooting from the left shoulder. So you shoot from the right shoulder for more damage and more RPM, and then from the left shoulder to have a chance to trigger the acid mist effect. However, the RPM is slower and the damage is lower when shooting from the left shoulder. As with all legendary weapons in the Chinese game, there's also 4 weapon accessories available to purchase, which enhances the weapon in many ways. First up, we've got the Corruptor Scope. This gives a 100% probability of armor break and a plus 20% movement speed increase. Now, the critical hits take 1% of the target's total armor, but less for players or bosses. You also get plus 30% effective range and plus 50% acid mist protection for PvP. Next, there is the Acid Wrist Fog Drum. It increases the rate of acid mist pellets injected. It also gives an additional between 10 and 40% damage to targets under the acid mist effect. And on hitting the target, it restores 1 to your ammo pool. And if you crit, it restores 1 to your magazine, meaning as long as you crit, you never have to reload. Next up is Emmeline's Screwdriver. This increases the amount of acid mist pellets and it increases the acid mist duration up to 12 seconds. It also increases your rate of fire and your damage from the right shoulder, and it increases the probability of triggering the acid mist from your left shoulder, as well as giving you plus 20% effective range and 150% headshot damage. And lastly, there is the Thorn Silencer. This increases your armor damage to enemies that are close to the target that you're shooting at. It also restores 15% of your armor on kill and also gives you bonus armor which can stack up to 100%. And there's also the plus 35% accuracy and the plus 20% critical hit chance. So, now that I've covered the stats and the talents, so the question is it any good? After spending many hours with this is what I've found. It feels good to use damage wise. It's not over the top like some of the Chinese legendary weapons. It fits nicely into third spot, I would say, with the sniper being number 2 and the HPC 12 being number 1. However, one of the things that it does do is direct damage to health, just like the sniper rifle, which makes tanky bosses like in the Incursion a piece of cake, which can be a bad thing when you're trying to balance the game. Now, the gun is not without its issues. The biggest problem the weapon has is bullet registration. So after continuously firing at a target, your pellets just stop registering until you reload. This is a big issue. I hope this is resolved before the weapon is introduced into the game. The other issue I came across was that if you go down and you're revived, your RPM drops from 450 to 390 on the right shoulder and from 390 to 330 on the left shoulder, and it is a considerable drop in performance. The last thing to discuss is the price. Now, the fragments to craft the Twisted Will shotgun can be earned in-game by completing the manhunt and also the weekly legendary missions, and there's also a chance drop of fragments from legendary bosses. Now that's just as usual. However, the main cost of the weapon will come from its accessories, which is the norm in China. There are two ways you can get these accessories. The first way is to play the lottery. Now, if luck is with you, this can be the cheapest way to get the accessories, but if it's not, it can be quite costly. Now, every player gets a free lottery ticket, but then after that, you need to buy tickets, and you need more and more tickets each time you want to have a go on the lottery. Meaning that if luck's not with you, this can be very expensive and cost you a lot more than buying the accessories outright. Okay, so now the cost of buying them instantly. There are two packs that you need to buy. One pack contains the grip and the scope, the other pack contains the muzzle and the drum. Both packs also come with a certain amount of fragments so you can craft the weapon. The first pack is the equivalent of £58 or $78. The second pack is the equivalent of £68 or $91, making the total cost of £126 or $168. Whilst to us Westerners, those prices seem eye-watering, to the Chinese player they're nothing but normal. I would really like to hear what you guys think of this shotgun, whether it be about its looks or whether it's about its performance or its price. That's probably the main one, the main talking point. But thank you to everyone who watches my content. A big thank you to all of you who are still here at the end of this video. Your support really is appreciated. So, until next time, bye bye now.